Hi, my name is Robert Hunter, and I was the producer, dialogue recorder and editor, sound designer, and mix engineer on this project. The project is basically an undertaking to redesign all the sound for this scene from Beyond Two Souls, which is the second scene of the game, and to take the original clip, completely mute out the sound, and then recreate everything from scratch. And luckily I had a pretty good crew of people helping me, including a composer named Bjorn and two Foley engineers named Bradley and Adrian. They did a really great job at bringing a lot of their own creativity to the project, as well as lightening the workload for me slightly so I could focus more on the dialogue and the sound effects to really pull the best out of the scene.
I really enjoyed working on this project. I do get to do soundtrack composition every so often, but usually when it comes to composing for a video game, it's more of a sound design thing for me than it is a composing thing. That's a lot of fun for me, but I've always wanted to do more on the composing side, so this was a really cool experience for me. Working with Rob was a lot of fun. He's very honest with his feedback, which is cool, because then I can take exactly what he says and use it as like a checklist for things that I have to do. Whereas a lot of clients that I've worked with have said, "Oh yeah, it's great, haha," not giving me a very straightforward response. So I can't really, tweak something to their liking, and then they're sort of half happy with the result because they didn't feel like telling me what was wrong with it. Whereas with Rob, he's like very honest, and I really appreciate that because it makes my job so much easier.
It was a really good experience working with Bjorn. He's a very talented composer, and he did a really good job on this project, I think, especially with capturing the vibe of the party and making it's a little different to the original, the content of the dance music that plays, but I think it's a very interesting take on it, and I think it worked well. I originally asked just Bradley to help out with the Foley, and he readily accepted. But then he got Adrian on board, and they worked together on the Foley session. They did a really good job. I was very happy with them. I didn't have much interaction with them during their working process. I kind of sat down with Bradley, gave him some guidelines, and talked about what kind of feel we were going for in terms of the Foley and how it was going to contribute to the story. And he went and he ran with that and produced a really good product at the end of the day.
My name is Bradley Carpenter, and I did Foley on this assignment. The parts where there's the whole fighting and the whole rubbing, like thinking of like, how am I going to recreate? Like I'm looking at Adrian, I'm like, we're gonna fight here, so we can get the sound. So yeah, that was an interesting part, because if you just start like rubbing things, it doesn't sound realistic. So yeah, that was a fun part to do, because you also have to do so many sounds. So then it's like, do you do too many, but then it doesn't sound realistic, or you too little, and then it doesn't really bring the feeling. So yeah, that was a fun part to work on.
Along with the great crew that I had on the production side of this project, I also had a really good cast of 8 very good voice actors who did a great job. Obviously, the original game was done in motion capture, and so the actors were acting the scene out in real time, and the dialogue was recorded at the time. For us, that's obviously not possible. We're not redesigning the game, we're just redesigning the sound. And so we had to put a lot of emphasis on the dialogue performance being believable, being in sync with the original, and carrying the emotion of the characters to pull the story forward, to carry the story forward in an appropriate way. And also to capture the feeling of the characters, especially the teenagers locked in the room when Aiden's losing his mind. We needed to capture their fear and their absolute panic, and then we had to capture Jodie's awkwardness in her interactions with her peers, which she's not used to. She's not very well socialized, living on the base and such. So yeah, that was quite challenging, but it was very rewarding once we got it right, and I think we did a good job.
Hi, my name is Annabelle Woolley. I voiced the character Jodie from Beyond Two Souls, and she's the main character. She's a very awkward girl. She obviously doesn't fit in well because of this weird ability or condition she has. I feel kind of sorry for her in the scene. I'm not gonna lie, I feel very sorry for her. It's no matter what she does is wrong. She chooses the song and it's wrong. They think she's weird, and then she tries to have a drink even though she's never drank in her life, and then they make fun of her for that.